The new GTA Online weekly update has some really awesome money bonuses once again, and this week it's for the biker businesses. But today on the show, I do have another episode of my free vehicles guide for you. These are vehicles that you can jump into game for and potentially unlock both of them today. The first one is an excellent sports car that has tons of customization options to truly turn it into your own unique vehicle, and the other is an Imani tech capable car. So if you don't have any just yet, getting this one for $0 when it will cost you millions normally is not a bad deal at all. We'll also be checking out both of these today. I'll showcase to you how you can unlock them, as well as of course we'll be testing out their performance on the track to see if they're actually worth their salt or not. Thank you so much for supporting this series so far. I'm having a blast making these kinds of videos, and if you want to see more, make sure to let me know by dropping a like on today's video. And with that being said, let's get started. So jumping into vehicle number one, this week's Diamond Casino Podium vehicle is the Lampadati Komoda, which is normally priced at $1.7 million or $1,275,000 with the trade price, and it's available from Legendary Motorsport. The Komoda is a sports sedan that delivers very well-rounded performance. It's a standout choice in GTA Online. It boasts a top speed of 124 miles an hour, and that's paired with excellent acceleration, positioning it, I would say, as more of a competitive option for racing enthusiasts, or just a reliable vehicle for your money-grinding pursuits in GTA 5. The car's braking is very effective. You get very precise cornering stability here. You don't really get any unexpected surprises with that car, albeit positive or negative, and so that's nice in my opinion. The handling is generally solid. The only problem you may encounter is the Komoda may slide a bit when you push it to its absolute limits during very sharp turns, or of course if you're accelerating rapidly. It's just a minor issue. I feel like that's really common with a lot of vehicles, and so it's very easy to manage as long as you have some type of skill in this game. Overall, the Komoda is a very worthy addition to your collection, especially given its capabilities and balance in performance. Here is the Lampadati Komoda, ladies and gentlemen, and for this customization for this vehicle, I went with something a little bit out there. I'm normally not going to be coloring the rims of like a sports car or a supercar or anything besides just standard silver or black, but here we are with white. And I think it kind of suits the car well because of all the pinstripes you got going on and all the decals and livery, type noise going on with this vehicle. But honestly, this is a great sports sedan, so I don't want to waste any time. Let's head to the track. Let's test how it is. As usual on my course, we go to the north, we make the right, we come around here, we make another right, start heading south, and we make a left and head east, come back south, loop around, and then we just follow this main road all the way to my intersection. A very, very fast car is going to be 2 minutes 30 seconds to 2 minutes 40. A middle of the road car, I guess I would say, would be 240 to 250, and then everything on the slower side is going to be 250 plus. Or not slow, it doesn't mean you're driving a slow vehicle, but just, you're not going to be going like Benefactor LM87 fast. So I'm going to set my timer, and we're going to go right as I hit the start button. So let's take off, and let's shoot for maybe like 245 with this car. Let's see if we could do that. I'm not actually sure if we're going to be able to get a time as good as that. I am a little bit rusty with my driving right now. I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Online recently with the collector event, and I haven't been playing too much GTA because, of course, it was bunker week. I made a couple $1 million with that, but I wanted to split my time pretty well between grinding Red Dead Online, of course, for the final week of the collector event, and then GTA Online. And when it comes to the Lampadati Komoda, you get excellent acceleration like I was talking about, pretty good top speed, the handling's awesome. You just need to watch out for that slight oversteer if you're going too fast, but I would say this car is very forgiving because you're not going to be putting yourself in a position where you're going to be going that fast with this car for you to have that sort of like snappy or snap to oversteer, I should say. I mean, you'll know when it's going to happen, especially if you've been driving this car a little bit. I would say on a track like this where there's like winding turns and stuff like that, you're not going to have that problem. But when it comes to something like city driving, diving into a corner, hitting the brakes, coming back out of the corner, of the turn, things like that, you may snap, and so you just got to watch out for it. But nonetheless, we're a minute 15 seconds in, and I would say we are making pretty decent time right here, nothing exceptional, but this is going to be a pretty decent car for this track. There you go, you could see it right there. We went into a big drift. It wasn't something where we completely lost control of the car. Oh, that's going to take some time off right there. That is going to do us in. We may not get our 2 minute 45 second time with that right there. We may not even get 250. This, I don't know, we'll have to see. We have a pretty decent amount left in this course, so let's kind of just keep going through. You got to watch out for this turn as well, just because you're going up and around, and so honestly, no matter what car you're using right there, that's a poor example of showcasing the performance, because every car, it seems like, steps out right there as long as I stay on the throttle. Same thing when you're going over this hill. I would say overall, are we going the fastest pace possible right now? Absolutely not. You know, I need to get better at driving, especially today if I'm recording this, but there's a bunch I gotta do while I'm away for the weekend, so we're just gonna do the one attempt right here. A little bit of sliding. I'm not too happy with that, but I must say, especially if it's gonna be a free vehicle this week that you can win at the Diamond Casino and Resort Podium vehicle, or, you know, the Lucky Wheel, I should say, this is a great car. The exhaust is great. You saw me driving my Emperor Vector in a couple gameplays as well recently, and I would say this car and the Komoda are like neck and neck in terms of performance. I think I like the styling a little bit more of this Komoda, but I like the performance a little bit more of the Vector. Even with those 2 or 3 crashes right there, we still got a 2-minute and 46-second time. So I would say the Lampadati Komoda can hang in excellently, because if we ignore all those crashes and say if we were actually on good pace, this may have been a sub 2-minute and 40-second car. So it looks terrible right now with the crashes and the mud and everything, but the Lampadati Komoda is awesome. Moving on to vehicle number 2, this week's LS Car Meet Series prize ride is the Enus Jubilee, priced at $1.65 million or $1,237,500 with the trade price from Legendary Motorsport. But of course, you can get it for $0 if you complete the prize ride challenge, which is placing top 3 in LS Car Meet Series races for 4 days in a row. So hopefully you've been putting in the work since this update dropped on Thursday morning. Now, this SUV offers a very nice blend of both luxury, but it's also very durable. It's based on that Rolls-Royce Cullinan, and so the Jubilee is basically just a better than decent SUV. It features all-wheel drive. The main draw of this vehicle, in my opinion, isn't necessarily its on-road performance. I would say if you've driven the newer Baller STD from Gallivanter that released in the spring of this year, that's a nice comparison I can draw for how the Jubilee actually feels to drive. But the main advantage to owning a Jubilee is your access to Imani tech features. This car can be modified with that remote control unit for remote operation, or you can put on the missile lock-on jammer to thwart targeting from weaponized vehicles. You also get some really nice armor plating for enhanced explosive resistance, as well as bullet-resistant windows, and those windows can withstand up to 15 rounds of regular firepower. Additionally, it comes with optional front-facing machine guns, and you can also install slick proximity mines for some strategic defense right there. You get basically all of the Imani tech features with this SUV because the performance isn't absolutely the best, and so that's, I guess, how Rockstar balanced this vehicle. You get all the Imani tech, you only get a little bit of the nice performance from other Imani tech vehicles. And so because of all this, if you want a luxurious SUV but also a very practical choice for navigating all of the challenging landscapes of GTA Online, definitely check out the prize ride this week. And here is the Enus Jubilee, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I am customizing this vehicle at LS Customs. I'm not at my agency to equip the Imani tech upgrades, just because I wanted to showcase to you guys the raw vehicle, the raw Enus Jubilee here, just in its not most stock nature, but of course just with like standard vehicle upgrades, because of course you could put the armor plating on, you get the bullet resistant windows, you get the missile lock-on jammer, but let's just check out the performance of this car. And I must say, the customization options, you have great front and rear bumper customization. You can actually add a few spoilers to extend that little lip that hangs over the rear windshield. You know, the wheels look good on this SUV, things like that. Bunch of hood modifications, but that's about it when it comes to the customization. So with that being said, let's head to the track and let's check out the performance. Now, I'll be honest, when it comes to this SUV, I have no idea the pace we're gonna set. I'm guessing it's gonna be over 3 minutes. So I will set my timer and we will go right now and we will take off. No wheel spin, this thing stays planted to the ground, so that's nice. Acceleration wise, I would say it's pretty good, especially for like a massive Enus SUV this size. And the handling is also kind of interesting here. Something I wanted to mention with the Komoda before was it felt a little bit heavy, and I would say the Jubilee also in its own regard feels that way, but it can definitely claw itself around a corner. Like, you'll notice like the turning radius isn't great, but this car, and then this SUV, can definitely take a corner. You just gotta watch out. Like, if you hang on the throttle, you're gonna have this really wide sweep of the turn. I would say if you let off the throttle, you can get a little bit more snappy around the curve and you'll be able to successfully make it around, versus like just staying on the throttle all the time. Even if you're not going so fast to where you feel like you're losing traction or anything like that, you still want to like have a good racing line, and I'm not a good example of that, obviously. I'm not a professional GTA 5 racer or anything like that. I am certainly no Bruffy. We are gonna totally spin out right there. That is not good. So we don't want to see that in any of our vehicles. But then again, at the same time, this is the first time we've ever reviewed a vehicle, or excuse me, an SUV. Sorry, it's super late, so I'm just chatting nonsense sometimes. But this is the first time we've ever reviewed an SUV as the podium vehicle, at least on the channel, because we only started this series maybe 6 episodes ago, I think, or 5 episodes ago, so hopefully you guys are still enjoying. But the Enus Jubilee is awesome. Like, the real draw of it is going to be that Imani tech. It's not going to be necessarily in the performance of this SUV, because there are better performing SUVs. Some of the Gallivanter Baller SUVs are going to be better. I would say the Rebla GTS is way better. You know, the Pfister Astron is going to be better. The Lampadati Novak, speaking of Lampadati vehicles, because we just reviewed the Komoda. The Novak isn't on sale or, you know, a free vehicle this week or anything like that, but is it worth going through the LS Car Meet Prize Ride Challenge to unlock this Enus Jubilee? I would say all of them are, just because you can get it for $0, but it is kind of like a hefty requirement, and say if you haven't put in the time to unlock it just yet, well, you need to complete that challenge and play the game basically for 4 days in a row in order to do it. So you better get started today, because you only have a limited time, of course, before the next weekly event comes around. So let's check out the time right now once I get to this turn. We are 2 minutes 18 seconds in. I mean, we lost a good, what, like 5-6 seconds when we crashed and kind of like spun out. So overall, I'd say we're setting a very, very slow pace with this thing. But if we can hang around that 3-minute mark, I would say that's acceptable, you know, especially for a massive SUV like this. Like, yeah, it is a Rolls Royce, but, you know, how much does this vehicle actually weigh in real life? Like 6,500 pounds or something crazy? It's got to be something like absolutely absurd, right? Probably even more. Probably, what, like 7,500? I don't know if that's too much. Maybe 6,500. But here we are, getting to the end, and honestly, we're going to be under 3 minutes. Even with that spin out, 2 minutes and 56 seconds. We are only 10 seconds slower than the Novak, or excuse me, than the Komoda with that spin out. So honestly, this would only be like a 5-second slower SUV, which is something that's actually incredible to see. I did not think we were actually going to complete it that fast, and here we are. Sub 3-minute car on this course. I'm very, very surprised with that. I thought it was going to be a little bit slower. This thing is speedy. I think it will do you just fine, and especially for driving around the open world of GTA Online and completing missions. I mean, this is a very, very stylish SUV as well. With all that out of the way, though, that is everything that you can unlock this week in GTA Online for free when it comes to our free vehicles, the Lampadati Komoda, as well as the Enus Jubilee. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Drop a like if you guys did, or you found the information helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more GTA Online content like this, or if you're just brand new and you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching. Check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, and I will see you guys in the next GTA 5 Online video tomorrow. Adios, amigos.